Good day, everyone. My name is Maria Kądzielska, and this is Poland Daily Culture. Today we start a series of great Polish writers. This poet has as much influence on Polish literature as Lewandowski had on football. There is a simple test of checking how Polish you are, and that is to recite first few verses of Pan Tadeusz. I am talking, of course, about Adam Mickiewicz, and if you don't know him, it means you skipped too many classes in high school.
The mind is like a muscle, okay? And if you want it to be really powerful, you gotta work it out. Each new fact gives you another choice.
Poland snatched this chance of independence, and Mickiewicz is in Rome, maybe because he couldn't believe in the success of the uprising, knowing the Russians so well. But eventually, on the 19th of April 1831, he starts his journey back to Poland, and it is the first time since the time he was a very young man. He travels at the very beginning to Paris and to Geneva, and later to Germany, to Dresden and Leipzig. And it is considered, though we don't really have facts, that he was bringing letters and moving money among some other leaders to bring later back to Poland. And he crosses the borders of Prussian annexation, so Prussian Poland, exactly on the 13th of August. And he goes to Poznań, which is in Wielkopolska.
It's in the it's an old, perhaps the oldest part of Poland, but this was a Prussian area at the time called Posen. It's called Poznan in Polish, and he finally made it there. But he's, where is he making it back to? Because it's not really Poland. It's just the place where Poland used to be.
Yes, but still Poland.
In a sense,
there are people
there are Polish
people there, so he's coming back to them.
But it's important
But what is important, he goes to the Prussian annexation when most of the fights are happening in the Russian annexation. And Mickiewicz doesn't cross the border to Warsaw or to Krakow. I mean, actually, Krakow was in Austrian annexation, but he doesn't cross the border to Warsaw. But he stayed in Wielkopolska. And here we'll guess why.
I guess it was either either he ran out of money, or he was about to make some money, or he met a lady. I'm going to say he met a woman.
He met a woman.
Okay.
Another liaison. And this liaison was with a noble woman called Konstancja Lubieńska at her family estate. So in her house. He didn't invite her over to his place, but he went to her place.
Well, that's okay.
And that is for longer than a year.
She had a nicer place than he had.
Absolutely. She had a very nice place. Yeah. She had a traditional Polish noble mansion. And that might be inspiration for his another great piece of literature, which of course is Pan Tadeusz. But before to this, so Mickiewicz is romancing Konstancja in Wielkopolska next to Poznań, when 40,000 young Polish men are either dying or getting injured in Russian annexation, trying to...
In Warsaw and other places?
In other places, trying to...
Not just Warsaw, but other places.
Not just Warsaw, yes. Yeah. Trying to win back the independence.
Wow.
Which, of course, failed. It failed in October 1831. And Mickiewicz was still romancing Konstancja. Maybe it's better because at least he didn't die.
Well, it's a strange one, though, isn't it? That he stopped off to have fun instead of going to the front. But maybe it was hard to cross over. But he spoke fluent Russian. Or maybe on sight they would have just taken him prisoner, and maybe he would have ended up in Siberia, or worse, dead.
Yes,
by the
especially
Russians.
Considering the fact that Mickiewicz was...
He was well known.
He was well known. He was the greatest Polish verse spinner those times. He was the muse, and he was... he had huge influence on people.
I like
there.
this phrase, verse spinner, because it's really true in his case, because he had such a facility. He would just throw out these verses, as you've said before, and he was famous for being able to immediately, like Bob Dylan, just start writing.
He would be a stand-upper those times. In our times,
I would say Bob Dylan
perfect stand-up.
is the closest to him now. I would say Bob Dylan.
Because, yes, he was famous for, like, even Słowacki, another great Polish writer, was incredibly jealous of this Mickiewicz ability just to put verses together and be able to find the right way and to interest people. And it was a huge talent. He was really a genius when it comes to that.
Try to write like Bob Dylan. It's not easy. A lot of people have tried. No one's achieved it. Same with Mickiewicz.
Absolutely. It's worth mentioning, unfortunately, because of Polish geopolitical situation, but he should be as well known as Goethe or Lord Byron, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. And he would be if he wrote in English or German. But because he wrote in Polish, he's very well known among Slavic people, especially Polish, Belarusian, Ukrainian. Well, Lithuanians are not Slavic, but because he was born in Vilnius as well, but not in...
I think it's also because if he had been writing during, for instance, the period of the Polish Golden Age, during the Elizabethan times, then it would have been, more of a chance for him to be well known. But writing when he was writing, there's not much of a country there, so it's difficult. Also worth saying that in a way, you didn't want him fighting actually real battles because he's become more the embodiment of the Polish spirit. For your freedom and ours was his great slogan. He had become this embodiment, and you didn't want him to actually take part in hand-to-hand combat.
Absolutely not.
Because losing him is losing something of the soul of the nation.
Absolutely, it's using in a way Polishness, because as long there was Polish language, as long there were Polish artists writing in Polish, you had Poland still living, still being there, still breathing. Yeah. We made this mistake, unfortunately, during the Warsaw Uprising. Many our great poets, including Baczyński, went to battle. They were not stopped. They were not put into home arrest, and Baczyński died during the uprising. Mickiewicz didn't die during the November Uprising. He stayed in Wielkopolska, and then later he moved to Germany, Dresden, where he wrote the third part of Forefathers' Eve. But you will learn more about it in the next episode. Thank you very much for staying with us and watching Poland Daily Culture.